I was going to say, should we go ahead and hit our what
Yes.
we think is our positive point for the evening?
Yes. Well, this was mine. I don't know if this is yours.
It
Buck
is.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Okay. Legendary Pictures, Transformers producer. Don't be terrified. It's just a producer.
Yeah.
Okay. Don Murphy. And it's going to be based on the first Buck Rogers novel, Armageddon 2419 AD, by Philip Franson Newland, that was made back in what, 1928?
Yep.
So, okay, you're
Something
more
like
the Buck
that.
Rogers expert than I am.
Well, let me tell you something. In the thumbnail, I said, no, it's not what you think. And that's exactly right. Because every outlet that's talking about this, the visual that they use is the movie poster from the Gil Gerard Buck Rogers. This is not a remake of that. It is not a reboot of that. It is not in any way connected to that. They are going back to the source material. That could be a very, very good thing. It'll be something completely separate, focus on the source material. It could be a very, very bad thing. And I'm just going to say John Carter of Mars.
I didn't see that in the theaters. I checked.
Nothing again. I didn't see the movie either. I don't know if it was good or bad. I'm just saying it was
all right. It was a flop though. And I will say this though. I gave Disney points at the time, and I used to say that Disney took risks.
Yeah.
Because making a John Carter movie was risky. Making Guardians of the Galaxy back when the MCU was going, Rocket Raccoon, no studio would have done that. They did. So now I don't know. Like I used to sing Disney's laurels back then. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. You are mixing your metaphors, but I
think so. Yes. Anyway, but this article was rather weird though. Dark Tower. That this was like what they wanted to do with the Dark Tower books, a prestige television series that leads into a blockbuster. That's not what they did with Dark Tower. They just released a standalone movie that no one appeared to like, and then they're wanting to do an anime style animated series based on Buck Rogers. I
don't know. I mean, if they go like if they go like with the 80s style, the like rock and roll kind of thing, that might really be good.
Yes, I mean we have a. I mean we there are plenty of good looking American cartoons. Don't get me wrong, I love the anime, but I kind of don't think we should be doing our own thing because. But we'll see. I don't know even know anime style. Unless they hire Peter Chung, that would be neat.
Yeah, it depends because I'm starting to learn little by little from Wolf Den Media and whatnot. I'm starting to kind of get the idea that my impression of what anime is and what other people's impression of anime
are going to be completely different.
And if you say in the anime style, that covers a lot of ground. You know, that's like saying in the Hollywood style almost. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, good point.
So, but yeah, what it comes down to is I think it's great. I think it's good for them to experiment. Here's the problem though. They're touting it in the way that, look, we're going back to this franchise. Well, they're appealing to the Gil Gerard fans and the 80s Buck Rogers fans. They're all going to be very disappointed when it comes out and it has really nothing to do with that. Going further back to the source material, that original source material has almost no fans left. How many people listen to Buck Rogers on the radio or read books or magazines about Buck Rogers? Who remembers the 50s ray guns?
Or
right?
the comic strips from the 30s.
Or the comic strips, right? Exactly. What people know and remember, the fan base that they could tie into would be the Gil Gerard fans, So I think they're appealing to the wrong people the way they're going about it. But I don't know. I'd say it's positive in that it's what we've been saying. We need something new. I'm saying that I see a lot of potential pitfalls for them.
Yeah,
I do. It could very, very easily go the way of John Carter, but hey, let's hope not. Let's hope it's something. And my other concern though is that if it does go that way, if it does flop, then you're never going to get anyone to invest in revitalizing or doing a reboot of the the Gil Gerard story, that idea,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
which I think they could do so easily and so well right now.
I
Can you
think
imagine some instead of setting it in 1987, with NASA launching the last of its space probes, it's 2020, okay, and NASA launches not a deep space probe, but some experimental ship.
it could have something to do with the Space Force. You know?
Exactly. Anything,
Yeah,
anything. And then just have, a single pilot doing a test run on a ship,
yeah.
and it gets lost, comes back, and it's 500 years later, and, there's been war. And I mean, unfortunately, Hollywood's going to throw all their politics into it. What the smarter thing to do would be to say there's a war and we don't even know what the war was about 400 years ago,
Well, that would make more
anymore.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're relying on you, because you come from that era. You can help us learn our history all over again. And then if you want Buck Rogers to interject some modern politics and his commentary, I guess you can. But I mean, that would be interesting. And then you appeal to the nostalgia by having the ships be a similar style, by having Tweaky and stuff like that.
That would be awesome. That would be cool to see, though, because it would be. Uh, we don't have interesting visions of the future these days a lot
Yeah.
of the time, and I'd like to see a step back to
Well,
that.
and that's just it. And the Buck Rogers it wasn't the happy joy of Star Trek, but it also wasn't the doom and gloom of Battlestar Galactica either. It
Yeah,
was kind of that middle ground where there are elements that are really something to look forward to, but there was a trade-off and there was a lot of loss that came from that.
exactly.
And Buck Rogers now straddles those two worlds and offers, to help with the healing and whatnot. It was an interesting concept. It doesn't tread the same ground Star Trek did, and it didn't go completely grim dark either. So
Yeah,
I think that would be a great thing for them to do right now.
to
But
stay in the middle ground.
nobody is taking risks, and they are with this. I'm just hoping that it pays off for them in some way.
We'll see. Oh, I want to respond back to the drawing board real quick. He
Yeah.
said anime isn't a style, just animation with Japanese sensibilities. Just so you know, that wasn't Troy saying that. That was the article that said that. Okay.
Yeah.
That was like
Exactly.
yeah,
In fact, he seems to almost be reiterating what I was speculating.
yeah.
That I don't think that it's very meaningful to say anime style, but I do believe that many people in the States, when they say anime style, they mean something by that. And I'm just saying your mileage may vary. You may not interpret it the same way as it's intended, and clearly not.
I hope this is good. I don't, but like you said, you really don't think they're going to be going for the Bill Gerard series, right?
Gil Gerard, yeah.
Yes.
No, and at least that article pretty much states that they're not. If you read through what they're saying, they're going back to. That looks nothing like what the Gil Gerard backstory was.
Yeah.
The only thing that the Gil Gerard 80s series took was a guy named Buck Rogers, leaves Earth and comes back in the 25th century. There's been a war, and but the way the war happened and the exploration of this world, the world building, was completely different.
Yeah, I mean they've done this in anime too. Like there's an anime I like called Appleseed that's also based on a manga where World War III happened, but they don't really go into detail who started the World War III. Just that everybody lost. Okay, because in World War III you're going to have nukes flying everywhere, right? So
my concern is that by the same analogy, this would be like someone creating an Appleseed and you thinking that it's that anime, and what they're actually doing is an animated storyline about Johnny Appleseed.
it's a weird title. Don't get me started. Well, that'll be another topic for
okay.
Weird titles for old.
Be way over my head
Yeah.
because I don't. What do I know from anime? But
No, Bubblegum Crisis is another one. Don't. I'll get to that later.